Hey everyone, I'm Carly. I use they, them, or she, her pronouns. I'm a cross-stitcher, a knitter, a spinner, a natural dyer, an aspiring quilter and weaver, and this is my FlossTube. Hello! How are you? It's been a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit more. I have decided to post videos quarterly. That feels like a good way for me to continue to be part of the community and engage with the community, but not be so overwhelmed by social media as I was starting to feel. Pardon. Today I have a bunch of finishes to show you, a bunch of FFOs rather, and then you'll see what else I've been working on throughout the quarter. I'm just going to like smush vids together. First, I will show you the top I'm wearing. This is the Tip Top Tank by Maker Maker. It's a free pattern. I found it on Ravelry. I'll show you. Ooh! Ta-da! I'm still working on like figuring out how to tuck it into the high-waisted pants. But I made it using, oh my god, Mojave from Cowborn Woolens. It's a cotton linen blend that we carry at the shop where I work. And my boss had made I don't think she made this tank, but she had made one with the same base in a bright yellow. And I was like, I want one. So I found this one and I finished it last night. And I just took it on a bit of a test run at the grocery store, and it was great. Sometimes I feel a little like not self-conscious but like exposed when I'm wearing a tank top or like certain bras. Just I feel very like out there, and I don't necessarily want to be all the time. But then there's days where I do feel comfortable in this kind of outfit. And I felt like there was enough coverage, like the stitches are close enough together that I didn't feel super like vulnerable. So yeah, I would consider this garment a success, and I will continue wearing it throughout the rest of the summer, and maybe I'll make more. We have a lot of beautiful colors in this base, and a lot of like solid neutrally type things, which I tend to gravitate towards more. So yeah, maybe I'll have a whole closet full of these at some point. All right, let me show you my cross-stitch FFOs. Yes, you heard that correctly. I took a little field trip to the Goodwill and got a number of frames for under $30. It's amazing to have my work on the walls. You see some like blank spaces behind me, where they tend to spend most of their time. Let me just show you. I'm so stoked. All right. First, we have my beauty, Fox and Rabbit now, not Linen and Threads, Mystery Sampler Sal 2021, Talavera. This piece was, for me, a learning experience. That's what I intended it to be. I learned how to stitch on linen with this piece. I learned that I really love geometric stitching. I learned how to lace. Started to learn. You can see it's a little, things are a little wibbly wobbly, but that's all right. I would love to paint this frame a different color, like probably one of the blues in here. I think that would be really cool, or like a white maybe. But right now it's just so exciting to see one of my earliest pieces and pieces that took me the longest initially to be just on the wall. It's where she deserves a spot. So yeah, really stoked about this one. I'm stoked about all of them, I won't lie to you. Next I have Hocus Pocus by Prairie Schooler in a frame, tea-dyed. I don't know if I showed y'all the tea-dye after I did it, but it's been tea-dyed. And I love how this looks. in the frame. This is, I mean, it hangs on my wall anyway. I think it'd be a great, like, seasonal piece, of course, for Halloween, but, you know, it's up all year round right now. Very cool, very cool. Next we have one that doesn't have glass, so I don't have to worry about that glare that's going on. This is Earthly Treasures by Plum Street. And this was a frame I had in stash. I took it from my mom's house a while ago and realized that this would fit. I was like, oh, great. I don't know. I think this frame's a little big. It'd be cool maybe if I could get someone to paint something on it. I don't know. But it's hung up. This is my lacing job. Well done. Well done. It's great to see it on the wall. I love this little face. Oh, so good. There's more. All right. We had Earthly Treasures. I give you Simple Pleasures from The Gathering Place. This is a finish and an FFO. You've not seen this one done yet. So this is this is it. It's on a 32 count Lugana from Fortnite, and I changed the quote to say, "Let this radicalize you rather than lead you to despair." That was a quote that I have shared in the past. I felt like I needed to earn before I could stitch it, and I was getting there, and there's always more to do, and to read and to unlearn, and this has just been really a great motivator for me to just keep on trucking in spite of everything. So, yeah, I'm very pleased with how this has turned out. It's just kind of tucked in here and washi taped. Hell yeah. That one hangs right up here. And lastly, I have, oh my gosh, all right, June. June was a month. And the thing that got me through was a little show called Our Flag Means Death. I had completely missed this because I left social media in like around the time that it came out, and that's how it was being promoted. Like there wasn't any marketing for it. It was all like word of mouth and like the cast interacting with the fandom online. And I made a new friend in like May, June, and she introduced me to the show. So it consumed so much of my brain space that month, which was honestly great. And part of that consumption, like tuberculosis, was the world of fan fiction, which the same friend Cassandra introduced me to. And she so sweetly like eased me into it, and then took what I liked from fan fiction she sent me about the show and found others that were like similar. So well written, so entertaining, just like, oh my God, great. So I had seen this particular pattern around, I think it's by Tusks and Cardinals, is the name. It's on Etsy. And I was like, oh, I really like that, but I didn't know what it was. And I even remember clicking the tags and being like, I don't know what this is, this book or this TV show. It was a lot of like fan art, and I was like, I don't know, whatever. Now I know better. And I freaking stitched it in like 10 days. This was my focus. And I hadn't really been I haven't stitched like that in so long. So it was just, so many beautiful things happened in June. So many not great things also happened in June, but a lot of really wonderful things happened. So this was one of them. This piece stitched on a 32 count Lugana from Fortnite fabric. And I'm giving this to Cassandra because she just, this show was so important to me that month, and it was so kind of her to just curate that selection of literature online written by fans. And there's cat hair in here. I love that too. These are images from flags that characters on the show had put on flags that they had created. And I think some other things too. Like I don't remember if all of these things are on the flags. But I love these clouds so much. Yeah, this is going to Cass for sure. Another thing that's going to Cassandra is, or already went to Cassandra. I only have photos of these two things. I've been trying to practice using my sewing machine. So I have 2 catnip pillows I've made. 3 rather. There's one in my last video that I made for my brother's cat Bartleby. And this one I made for my friend Cassandra's cat Gemini. This is a word that's related to the show. Our flag means death. And then I made another one for my friend Sean's cat Bailey, from a Sydney Gish song that we both like. The lyrics are on the pillow. So yeah, I have a lot of catnip. I dabbled like pretty heavily in herbalism a few years ago, and it's still like, I'm still so fascinated by it. And I have a lot of herbs and like tinctures, and I think I showed my like mini apothecary in one of my earlier videos, which was just a small peek at what I have. But it's been really fun to be able to like pull from it and actually use something, because it's kind of been neglected for a while. So yeah. All right. Whips. Just kidding. Finish. Not FFO'd, because the frame I bought for it actually turned out not to fit. But this is The Spider and the Fly by Tempting Tangles, and it's on a 32 count Galliana for Foreigner Fabrics. I beaded for the first time. Look at it. Have I asked y'all if anybody from the back in the days of YouTube, Lisa Nova, did anybody watch her? Have I talked about this? I don't know. She had this, it was a makeup channel parody, and she would hold stuff up and she'd go, look at it. And every time I say, look at it, that's what I'm thinking about. Anyway, this was so fun, except for the web that you can't even see. Whatever, I'm not bitter. The wings were super fun to backstitch. I love putting his little whiskers in. And the beads. I'm prepping for a chatelaine that I'm kitting up. So I feel very prepared now after doing these 8 beads. My plan for I turned 30 this year, and as a gift to myself, I'm kitting up a chatelaine to start in 2023. So this was my first foray. And it's looking pretty good, I would say. The beading is something that I'm great at. All right, so that was a finish. Whips. Be ready to be amazed. Ta-da! Look at this beauty. This is House of Christmas by Galliana. This is on a 24 count fiddler's cloth. It's stitched in Jingle Bells by DMC. And I am so pleased with it. I focused mostly on this floor here. One thing that I think is really funny, so ho ho ho, because Santa, but like these are not, it's not one frame that says ho ho ho. It's like, it's just 3 separate frames that say ho on it. And this person who lives in this house happened to hang them all together. But I want to believe that like they just had the word ho framed a bunch of times. Oh my God, that makes me love it more. Hard to relate. This is my Christmas in July focus piece. I ran out of floss. I probably would have kept going. But I'm going to save this probably for November to get me in the Christmassy mood. And then I'm sure this will be done for Christmas this year. That's my goal anyway. Very, very, very pleased with that one. Next, I've got Octopus's Garden from Blackbird. This is my first Blackbird. And this is technically based on the Beatles song, but I'm choosing to relate it to the Raffi cover. a children's singer from the 90s, if anyone remembers. R.I.P. Baby Beluga. Sorry if you didn't know about Baby Beluga. This is a 36 count linen. Sorry, my Discord is popping off. 36 count tarnish from Picture This Plus. Maybe it's 32. I don't actually know. I'm using just colors from Stash that look similar to the Gentle Arts. There are some recommended DMCs that I've kind of picked as close as I can. One thing I did do is I blended some colors. I think one of these was like the recommended conversion for DMC, but it was too dark on the fabric or blended in too much, too light maybe, I don't remember. So I combined it with another one and I made these beautiful waves. And that's maybe the first time I've done something like that. I've like taken that creative of a liberty with cross stitch. So pretty proud of that. And last, I have another whip. I don't have a photo of it. If you like the pattern, let me know. You can't get it on Etsy anymore, but you can reach out to the designer whose name I don't remember. And I'm not sure I could pronounce it either. So we're just going to write it down somewhere. If you want it, let me know. This is, the pattern might be called Over the Garden Wall. I actually don't remember. It's from the show Over the Garden Wall. If you don't know the show, this doesn't look like anything, but if you know the show, you'll recognize the silhouettes of Wirt and Greg. They are walking into the unknown, and it kind of like expands. They're inside of the lantern, and then the beast's horns are coming out of the lantern, and then like around the entrance, there's other little motifs from the show, like the rock and a pumpkin from Pottsfield. One of those is in the show, and one of those is like, I believe, in the same state as I am. And I don't remember which one. The pumpkin place, and some other things. So I might be taking this on a trip I have coming up as my vacation stitch. There's a lot of blocks of color. This is essentially a full coverage piece, more or less. So I want to kind of stitch the outlines of the color blocks and then do the fill-in on my trip. So I don't have to bring like a pattern or anything. It's on my computer, but then I don't have to bring my computer, which is nice. And then, yeah, we'll see. Okay, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Maybe. Have a great day. I'll see you next time I film. Bye. It's the end of August, and I thought I hadn't done very much this month, but now that I'm looking at everything I've pulled out, I've done quite a bit. One single cross stitch pattern that I've been working on, and that's it. And everything else has been fiber, like yarn related and dyeing. So I got to spend a week at the beginning of the month at a sheep farm. One of my friends is doing an artist residency there, so me and another friend went up to go see her and see how she's living her life right now. And throughout that week, in between picking blueberries and collecting chickens' eggs and skinny dipping under the full moon, we got to do some crafts as well. So I will show you the crafts. One of the things that we did, I have to insert, we did some acid dyeing for yarn that will be sold in their shop at the farm. I had not done dyeing like this before, but we just picked our colors and stuck it in the microwave and then let it dry. So that was pretty cool. The friend I was with hadn't dyed yarn before, so it was kind of fun to like show them the ropes and see how like her brain would decide which colors to use, because she has like a graphic design background, and I think they did a really good job. So very proud. We did some indigo dyeing as well. And I am so pleased with my piece. We had like cloth napkins that they sell at the farmer's market, and we got to like take one home with us. And I straight up copied the technique my friend did. Let me back up so you can see. All right. Ta-da! Oh my God, I love it. So she had put rubber bands on hers and then dunked it in the indigo vat. And I was like, yeah, I need to do that too. And so I did. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. Right now it just is on the back of my chair and I just like looking at it. But yeah, we made a vat using powder, so like pre-reduced, I think is how it's called. And just like spent hours just dunking stuff in, looking for more stuff that we could put into the vat. It was such a good afternoon. And yeah, another thing from the farm, one of the women who owns it, she designs these little tiles, like felt tiles, and she does all kinds of illustrations on them. Like I was between that one and a wizard, and there's like all kinds of animals, just all different illustrations. And then she dyes the yarn, or the wool rather, and packages them up, and then it's a little kit for needle felting. So this is how mine turned out, my little knitting basket. I've wanted to try needle felting for a while, so the fact that like this is one of the main things that they do at this farm was like very exciting, and my friend I got to have her like show me a little bit how to do it. I think I need some more instruction if I want to go further with it, but it was a fun first project, and this has been a wonderful mug rug for my desk. So when I came back from the farm, I was very inspired to dive into all of the yarn and fibers that I have at home, and kind of like make some stuff happen. So I pulled out, I had a couple samples of fiber from a company called Fully Spun. And they have a Pride collection year-round. I just checked their website. It doesn't have as many options on there as it did the last time I looked at it, so maybe they're like out of stock or whatever. But yeah, they sell both yarn and fiber to spin, and these are the two skeins. I haven't set it or anything yet. This is fresh off the drop spindle, but it felt really good to just use it and make something with it, and it was so soft. This is a merino nylon blend. The colorway, I think it was unnamed, and then I had also received a sample of what was this one? This was the gender fluid, I think, flag colors. So yeah, I'm feeling really excited to get back into spinning. I would love to learn how to spin on a wheel. I think I need to sign up for a class, but gonna keep going with a drop spindle for now and just get my practice getting my weights more consistent, so it's not like thick thin all over the place, which is fine. I don't mind that right now because it's just fun. But yeah, all right. One of the days that we were on our trip, we stopped by Port Fiber in Portland, Maine, which is a very cute little shop. And I had my friend pick out 2 colors of yarn, and I am making her socks to commemorate our trip. So I started them while we were on the trip, and I will finish them probably soon. Right now, I'm past the funky part where I have to pick up the gusset. That's always the part where I'm because there's some repositioning that you have to do on the circular needles, and I could never explain it to anybody. I would love to teach this as a class. I need to do so many more. I don't even know what I'm doing. I just look at the pattern and close my eyes and hope it works out, which I'm sure I've said before. But anyway, it's 100% wool. I couldn't find any correct weight. I think they were out of a lot of the stock yarn because at Port Fibers, the owner, I believe, does a lot of natural dye for sock yarn, and they were all out. But these are good for just walking around the house kind of thing. And it's very sturdy, rustic-y yarn. So I think she'll enjoy these, having them on her little feet. But, oh, the color's so good. It might be time to start saying my favorite color is green. I've been saying blue for decades, but I don't know, man. Green really does it for me. Oh, and then the bag I'm keeping it in, the friend who's doing the artist residency made it. So this is all natural dye. She cut out all these tiles and sewed them together and made this like drawstring bag. What? Ugh, so cool. Okay. Then I have this other knitting whip. I might have showed you the sleeves. I'm not taking out the back and the front. It's the father-son pullover from Peace Fleece. And I went to pick it up and like could not figure out where I was in the sleeves. And I think my increases had gotten off at some point. So I just ripped them out and started over. This is what I'm knitting from. I'm down to the cuff of the original sleeves. But here they are, looking good. I definitely don't have enough yarn. I really miscalculated, so I have to buy another skein when I'm at work, and then I'll be able to finish the sleeves and also do the collar and piece it together. I've only done a top-down one-piece sweater before. This is is it a raglan when you have to piece it together? I don't actually know. That's what it is, and that's what I'm working on. Okay, the last thing I have is the one and only cross-stitch piece. It's over the garden wall on a 32 count Lugana from Fortnite Fabric, and this is what I worked on the trains that I was on getting to and from the farm. This is so freaking fun. This is like, I guess, as close to full coverage as I've ever gotten, and it is a blast. Yeah, I am really liking it. All of this is just fill in right now, and it's so relaxing to just have that. And then if I want to do a little bit more complicated stuff, I just go do other complicated stuff, like around the edges. Like, look, there's all the little confettis. But yeah, this is great. It's like making me so excited for fall. It's the end of September. The equinox was just a few days ago, and it felt like fall came in just like that, right on time. I am so happy. The weather is just perfect. I get to wear these kinds of clothes, which make me feel really, really good and happy and just very comfortable. And I've been doing a lot of knitting, so I'll show you that today. First, this is some spinning I did. This is using a drop spindle. I'm pretty proud. The fiber was already kind of multicolored, so I haven't like plied this or anything or set it. But yeah, I'm trying to spin a little bit thicker and try to be more consistent. There's still definitely some variety in here in terms of thickness, but it's like nice and squishy and it feels very fall, so proud of that. I have I do have an FFO, a cross-stitch one. I forgot to share this last time. I actually did this within my last little month, but I had found this frame at Goodwill, and I try not to buy frames if I don't know what to do with them, but this one was just so special. I grabbed it, and I was like, I think this probably needs text in it versus like another piece. So this is what we've got. Is this not like the wildest frame you've ever seen? So good. This is a quote from Community. I actually never even watched this season. I think it's the 6th season. I only watched the first 3 that I can remember. And it says, "I'm not openly anything and gay doesn't begin to cover it." And that's a quote from the dean. And one of my friends sent me a gif of that one time, and I just thought it was so funny. It was his birthday recently, and so I was like, you know what, maybe I will put something together for him. I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually gift it because I love this frame so much. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. I really tried to match the color of the floss to some of the colors in the frame, and it's not exact, and it bothers me a little bit, but just a little bit. All right, whips, knitting whips. I have been working on the father-son pullover. It's a pattern by Peace Fleece. It's inside out. Well, that's fine. Pretty much all I have to do is finish seaming one of the sleeves and also knit the collar. So it's inside out right now, but I'll show you anyway. Wow. So this is a great lesson in why alternating skeins while you're knitting a sweater is important. I don't know if you can see, there's like 3 or 4 very distinct chunks that are different colors when I was using different skeins of yarn. And even though I thought this yarn was all the same color, once it's knit up, it looks a little bit different. So there are some like blocks. And honestly, like maybe that was intentional. Who knows? Like it's not going to prevent me from wearing the sweater, but when I look at it in photos and on camera, I can definitely see that. So just a good lesson for me. Yeah, I'm still learning how to seam, and I just have to do this armpit here. It doesn't match how I thought it would, so I might rip this one out, just the like attachment of it to the whatever this is, the body, and then just restitch it down again, and then again just like the collar, and then it's done. When I finished the sleeves on this, I so did not want to seam, so I just started a new sweater. And this pattern is called Knit Cozy. It's free on Ravelry. Basically, we had a sale on some yarn that I hadn't tried yet. It's this Joao from Rose of Homar. And I loved this label so much. I hadn't knit with it yet, but I actually just got a tattoo of this guy yesterday. So he's up here. He's it's not great right now. It's a little oozy. But hopefully in the next video I can show it to you in all its glory. I just thought it was so cute. It reminds me of, this is the cat Duck that I live with. She's always on my shoulder, and her eyes are big because she doesn't know anything. And then this is Jabber, the other cat, who's like he wants to hang out, but he doesn't want you to touch him. So, and that's me. Anyway, I bought a bunch of this yarn when it went on sale, and this is what I have currently. Whoops. Good golly. I finished the body of the sweater. Isn't that so cool? Honestly, one of the reasons I bought this yarn was I found a shawl pattern on Ravelry that uses it. So you knit like a triangle with the dark blue, and then you go around the edge and you do different crochet stitches in the different colors. And it's just gorgeous. And so I was like, I really want to do that. But I knew I wouldn't need all of those colors to do the border. So I knew I needed mostly this navy. So I bought like a few more of those than the other colors. But I wanted to use it for something. And I just really wanted to make another sweater. My goal was to finish just the body this month. I don't really have plans to work on it necessarily, at least until shawlography season is over. I was knitting this using the needles I'll be using for shawlography. Right now I just have my sleeves on this as a holder, but I can swap that out for anything else. And I was like, you need to finish this before October 6th because you're going to need these needles to cast on for shawlography. No, sorry, not shawlography, that was last year. Mystery MCAL. Shawl MCAL. Stephen West's Mystery Shawl Knit Along. that one. How many times am I going to say shawlography throughout this process? It's twists and turns is the theme this year. But this has been really fun and super easy. Enough like interest to keep me interested, switching colors and whatnot. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been really concentrating on is knitting. I've got 2 cross stitch whips to share, very minimal progress, but it's been a knitting time for me. The first one I have is one that I have showed the past few times. I've only worked on this a little bit this month, like maybe just a couple days, and it's the Over the Garden Wall. It's on 32 count Lugana from Fortnite, and I'm just doing the fill-in for the lantern right now, but it looks really good. I can't believe I started this in, like, August, maybe end of July. It looks great. I didn't think I was going to start this until, like, November. Google Calendar. Announcing my business to everyone. You don't know what the event says, though, and I won't tell you. And then last, on Thursday, was like, all right, it's almost October, and last year you were sad that you couldn't do any spooky stitching because you're focusing on your shawl. So this is kind of your last shot, to do spooky stitching during the right season. So I've been working on 3 little hexes. I just started the planchette. I'm doing this 1/1 on whatever the heck count this is. I think it's 40 count. No, it's 30 count. It's still hard. 1/1 is really, really difficult for me. But this fabric was so beautiful, and that was the only way these guys were going to fit on here. I am going to remove the rest of the white from this ghost. My white stitches are just not good, and I love seeing the fabric come through. So I'll give them eyeballs, and I gotta add the little stars and things on here, the little sparkles. Be nice to finish this one this year since I started it last year. But we'll see. So, all right. That's everything. That's all I've worked on throughout September, and that's fine. I'm really enjoying knitting, and I'm trying to be a little bit more flexible with myself in terms of like finishing projects within a certain time frame. But yeah, my goal is to release videos again either quarterly or like every couple months or something, maybe even not consistently, I don't know, but I do like filming, and I think I'm ready to have a little bit of interaction online again, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. I will see y'all later. Bye.